The restaurant group Savouring a struggling market reveals its secret ingredients to satisfy customers and shareholders.
Everyone's obsessed with running a great restaurant, and I think it's hard to run a great restaurant unless you can extract some profit from it. I think there's a lot of challenging businesses out there. I don't know an easier way to make money, so it's kind of what I do.
It's Friday the 12th of April and you're watching Markets with Madison. Hospitality looks to me like a hard hustle. Not only do you have to please hungry customers, but in Savor Group's situation, also shareholders. It's the only restaurant group listed on our market and has proven it can satisfy cravings for profit. Savor was started in 2011. It was acquired by Moa, the listed beer brewing group, in 2019. Then COVID hit, causing it to divest from the brewing operations. Food became the focus, so Savor bought Hip Group for $11 million. The restaurant operation that owns Amano, an all-day Italian eatery in Auckland that turns over $240,000 a week. Now Savor has 20 venues across Auckland, including non-solo pizza and Japanese restaurants Azabu and Ibisu. In 2022, Savor opened this venue, Bavako, on Auckland's Viaduct Harbour. It turns over $230,000 a week. Apparently anything over $100,000 is considered a success. Savor is now in an enviable position, with expectations of up to $9 million in earnings this financial year, and near doubling on the previous year. But hospitality is hard. The highest fixed costs are rent and wages, all of which have been increasing. And with New Zealand now in a recession, other offerings are struggling. So what's the secret ingredient to outperforming in hospitality? In this interview, Savor's Chief Executive Lucien Law reveals its relentless focus on margins. Lucien, thank you so much for having us here. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Welcome. Yeah.
Could you please start by giving me a quick history on how Savor came to be on our market? You were
Sure.
acquired by Moa and then Moa divested. What kind of position are you in now?
Well, yeah, look, as I say, we started it in, I started the business in 2011 and we were acquired in sort of 2019. And then Moa was divested, but through that period was COVID. So that was a really difficult time for everyone in business, but from our point of view, it was incredibly hard. So this is the sort of first end of financial year of sort of a clean year, for want of a better word. So it's pretty pleasing to be where we are and still here and everything open and trading all the shifts we want, which hasn't been always easy in the last 4 years really.
There would have been a time where you thought that wasn't possible, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, there were certainly dark times, for everyone. But yeah, even coming out of COVID was potentially as hard as in it, with all the staff shortages and trying to open the restaurants and how hard everyone was working to get them back to where they wanted to be. And the customer demand was there, which was fantastic, but it was hard to keep the engine moving, yeah, for sure.
And somehow through all of that, you actually achieved a financial turnaround as well. If you look at that sort of what you call that clean slate financial period, looking back from 2019 till now, your revenue is up by 299%. What is that financial turnaround a result of, do you think?
Well, it's due to a lot of hard work, getting everything back open and working that. It's getting the staff in the country and getting everything operational has been really challenging. But at the same time, it's testament to a resilient customer base. We're fortunate to have that. That's not something you sort of imagine when you go out and start the business, but it's something that we have got and we work hard to maintain. And I guess the brands are sort of strong and people are choosing them with what disposable income they might be having on their dining out,
We were talking about this just before we started the cameras, about how hard I at least think hospitality is. From the outside looking in, it looks like a relentless, ruthless hustle. Why do you bother, given it's not enormously lucrative compared to other, say, multi-million-dollar revenue-making business?
Yeah, you know what you know a bit. We love the industry, we love the restaurants, we love the people who work in them for us, and I think it's an enjoyable business. So sometimes I think it gets a bad rap that it's harder than what it is. I think there's a lot of challenging businesses out there. I don't know an easier way to make money, so it's kind of what I do. But look, it's I guess our result is testament that it can be done, hopefully, and we're heading into more headwinds, which are going to be challenging. But, again, we sort of hope that our customers are resilient to that, and our brands are at the forefront. Yeah.
Yeah, the economy is officially in a recession. I'm sure Hospo is feeling that. How is Savor performing compared to peers?
Look, I couldn't tell you compared to our peers. We've been pretty head down for the last 12 months, and I think we're heading into winter, which is always challenging. But look, through that period, we've made changes, and we've tightened just everything, and that's at a head office level to a venue level, and it really is. Our business really depends on our venue managers driving everything every day, and we support them as best we can. And so I think the 4% increase in margin is testament to a lot of little things. Unfortunately, it'd be great if it was just one thing and we appeared 4%, but unfortunately it's made up of a lot of 0.2s and 0.3s and 0.1s, and that's from working with our partners and suppliers to do better deals. It's our procurement at our own depot where we bring all the produce, a lot of the produce in and distribute. So even just having things like one place of drop-off rather than 12 venues, there's a lot of savings in that from our suppliers and for us as well. So it's fortunately and unfortunately, it's a lot of little things every day to sort of hold on to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested more in sort of where those margins are made in the restaurant business. Obviously, as a customer, we pay more for the ingredients, given the service and it being served to us and cooked for us in a beautiful, beautiful venue. So what does that margin actually look like typically on average?
I have to ask Tim. Hey, Tim, what's our margin at a venue level, like 20% on average? 22% on average. After overhead, it's sort of around 16. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
There you go. Go off for it.
Go to jail if I get it wrong. No. Look, at a venue level, we extract about 22%, which I think is really good, and it's something we've worked hard to get to. I think the main, obviously you've got your cost of goods, but the real main cost is wages, which sort of in hospo typically around 35-40%, depending on the venue. So managing those hours really tightly is the most challenging when you've got things like weather and concerts coming in and cruise boats. Trying to really get that down to a fine art around how many staff you need on any given shift is the difference. And unfortunately or fortunately, it's a % here or 2% there on any given day. So we work hard with our venue managers, but at the end of the day, those decisions of sending someone home slightly earlier or calling in more staff and optimizing that trade is what it's all about. Yeah.
It sounds like your business and everyone within it is enormously obsessed with margins. Would that be a fair assessment?
I don't know if that's 100% true. I think everyone's obsessed with quality, I hope, and everyone's obsessed with running a great restaurant. And I think it's hard to run a great restaurant unless you can extract some profit from it and pay the wages for the best staff and the best ingredients and all those things. So I think we are obsessed with running a restaurant well, and that goes across a lot of things, from the experience and the decor and our staff and how we present ourselves, and obviously to the food. Yeah.
What's your measure of success for Savor?
Measure of success for Savor. What's my measure of success for Savor? Look, my measure of success for Savor, it's a tricky one. I don't think we've ever gone out to be the biggest. We've certainly gone out to try to be the best at what we're doing and what we're trying to create in that particular restaurant. Success, I guess, and it's hard because success before COVID was something, and then surviving COVID was what it was about, and then this last year is about delivering what we said we were going to do, which we said to the market we were going to deliver between 8 and 9 million EBITDA, and we've indicated that we've done that. So it's sort of gone, I guess, from really long-term goals to really short-term goals, and I guess we get the opportunity now to create another one.
You say that you wanted to be the best, but you also are one of the biggest, with 20 venues and about 8 of those being premium big scale ones like Amano. How crucial is scale in the restaurant business and also in this economic environment where we are seeing other restaurant groups close some of their institutions down? Yeah,
look, scale has proven to be important. It's something I think we've earned over a long period of time. As I touched on, it has allowed us to do deals on sort of purchasing and more in bulk with some quality producers and pass those savings on. I mean, we haven't done a price increase for 12 months, a significant one, other than sort of seasonal bits and pieces. So I know that is something that is noticed by our customers. And so that is probably, at the end of the day, the biggest thing about scale is, from a customer point of view, we can try to put the things on the plate under $50, which we work incredibly hard to do. We take off a lot of dishes that are going to go over that. We'd much rather see our customers more frequently than on special occasions. And I guess the other thing that scale has given us, I hope, is our ability to advance people's career quicker. You know, you're not sort of necessarily stopped as a sous chef, because there could be another role for you to move somewhere else. So that progression, I think, has really helped us try to maintain the quality of the thing we put on the plate for the customer, and obviously our staff is something we work really hard on, yeah.
I want to talk to you about Takeovers. You acquired Hip Group for 11 mil a few years ago. Amano, I'm sure, is obviously doing very well. Any other takeovers on the table? Excuse the pun.
Yeah, I guess we get offers to buy things frequently, but I guess we're really pleased and proud of the brands we've created, like Bavako, which we're in, and Azabu. So, and traditionally those have had a sort of a 2-year payback on investment, the ones we've built. So.
That's quick.
Yeah, it is quick.
That's really quick.
Yep, on average, yeah. So it is, something has to be pretty special for us to want to take it over rather than think we can build one of our own. And Amano was definitely something pretty special. Yeah.
Are there any others out there that you think are special that would be good additions
to
the group?
There's lots of special restaurants. And again, I guess for us, as you've touched on, we've sort of said what we were going to do, and we're in a position where we can grow through cash flow, which is really exciting. But I think, like a lot of businesses, we're taking a pretty cautious approach to what the headwinds are going to be like, and winter's always tough for us. We're a seasonal business, really, so we'll get through that and then have a look. Yeah.
You've touched on this a little bit, but I'm keen to ask you flat out, what is your secret formula and all of the ingredients that make a restaurant actually outperform? Obviously the food and the service, location helps, but if you had to pick one of those or sort of weight them, what would it be?
Geez, I don't know of any of those. Look, there isn't one secret ingredient that if only there was one secret ingredient, I think that'd be great, and I think a lot of business people would say that. I think for us, I think we say it a lot, and I've said it before. I think, you know, realizing that our customers don't come out to us because they're hungry. You know, if you're hungry, you go to Countdown. You know, they're coming to us for an experience. You're in our restaurants. You're taking a break. You're reconnecting over a date night. You're celebrating something. So, I think when the whole team understands that people are spending their money with us, that we're there to put on a show, and I think that when everyone's on that same page, I think it really comes through to our guests. And look, we don't get it always right, but I think we're serving well over 1 million and something customers a year now. So I think, you know, I know we get it more right than not, but you know, there's always room for improvement, I guess.
And it's not even just doing those things right a few days a week, is it? I mean, your restaurants are open 7 days a week, in the case of Amano, from morning right through to night. I mean, you have to be ruthless on maintaining that quality as well. Yeah. What's that like?
It certainly is up to our venue managers and our people that have been with the company for a long time. And they take a lot of ownership in those venues, and we give them a lot of ownership in those venues. So I think our average sort of term of employment is sort of over 2.5 years now, which is pretty incredible when you consider that we have such a big force that is, you know, through summer, that's visa and workers coming in and students and so on. So when you really, if you took that out, I think it would be a lot higher. So I think that maybe if there's one thing to our success, it's definitely the staff and how much they care and how they've remained loyal to us for multiple years and multiple venues. Yeah.
We were talking a little earlier again about the evolution of Auckland's dining scene, and I told you that I went to school here, I went to university here, and I've worked here for many years as well, and I've seen that evolution, as I'm sure you have as well. What do you think is next in the evolution of the restaurant scene in New Zealand and specifically Auckland, and what responsibility does Savor feel to play a role in that?
Yeah, look, the evolution has been massive, I sort of think, in the last sort of 13 odd years. When you look at it, you know, Ponsonby 13 years ago was sort of the preeminent dining and drinking district, which coming back from London didn't quite make sense to me. I love Ponsonby, but low level, residential, a lack of density, not much white collar. So I think, you know, and then seeing what Peter Cooper was doing in Britomart 13 years ago when we sort of started and jumped into that, you know, his vision brought together, you know, changed the CBD, created a dining precinct, and on the back of what Peter, Jeremy and Matthew have done, we've sort of really benefited from that, and we built a lot of business in Britomart, and I think that's changed the culture. So I think you sort of had this physical move with the Viaduct and with Britomart creating these really good dining and drinking precincts in the CBD with a bit of density, which you really need for a country of our size. And then I sort of think at the same time you had a sort of us losing our cultural cringe around our food scene and our hospitality scene, and I really think that was led by by guys like Al Brown and Natalia and Carl at the Engine Room, who've run great restaurants. And then I think you've seen people like Matt Lambert come back to New Zealand, which must be a vote of confidence, having been really successful in New York. And you've got, it's pretty exciting. Then you've got all these young sort of chefs and entrepreneurs coming through, like, Broke Boy Taco. Have you been to Broke Boy Taco?
No, I haven't. It's on my list.
No.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
He started as a pop-up in Ponsonby. Now he's got his own shop in Mount Albert, and you're seeing people queue for tacos, which is not something that used to happen in New Zealand. That's something that happened in, when things get cult following much more in bigger countries. So I think we're finding our feet in that way. Yeah.
What do you think the New Zealand consumer wants now? I'm seeing at least a lot of bars where people dine as well. Like, what's the thing, and how often does that thing change?
Yeah, look, I think there was sort of a thing that things were all going to move out to the suburbs after COVID and that sort of thing. I don't see a lot of that changing. I think people still want quality. I think people want affordability. And no matter what area of the market that you want in, you want value. It doesn't matter what you're buying or what you're spending your money on, you want value. So I think we're really working hard on showing value, whether that's what we put on plate, trying harder and making sure we can bring the price down or whatever it may be. As I say, we'd much rather see our customers more often than not. And I think value, and that's the whole experience really.
Who's a competitor that you admire most?
Oh, I don't see us. I mean, I know we're a group, and I know we're a large group for New Zealand. I don't see us as groups as competitors. I admire restaurateurs. I admire what Al's built. I admire what Engine Room's done. I admire what Broke Boy Taco's doing. There's lots of things to admire across the whole thing. I guess I know how hard it is, so I have a different lens on what I think success is or what I think's great.
Favourite restaurant in Auckland?
Favourite restaurant in Auckland?
It doesn't have to be one of your own. In fact, it'd be more interesting if it wasn't.
My wife doesn't like to come out to my restaurants with me for a date because I don't think I'm focused enough. But look, we end up going to the Engine Room more often than not if it's something like that. I love what Josh has done with Guilt. We go there. So yeah, look, there's so much to choose from, and I guess that ladders back. When you go to these great restaurants that aren't yours, it does inspire you to make sure you've got to get everything a little bit right if you want to get to the top of that checkbook. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Lucien. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shout out to Savor Group's Chief Financial Officer, Tim Peat, who was on the sidelines with the financials and did help set up that interview for me with Lucien. Also, let the record state that the lamb shoulder at Amano is elite. Now go put your money to work. Thanks for watching Markets with Madison, the New Zealand Herald show for interested investors. If you want to stay up to date with financial markets, click the subscribe button below and you can watch our other episodes here. Stay up to date with all the business news and numbers as they land on nzherald.co.nz.